Hi everyone, welcome back to Crochet Rocks. Tracy here, and this is another whip along. So I'm going to hopefully get this blanket finished. So what we're going to be working on, let's move this down, and I have made a little start on this one. Remember this one? Now I was toying with the idea, that's the sound of Gary just about to have a bath. I was toying with the idea of having pink, because the yellow yarn was a little bit more, the yellow colour rather, was a little bit more buttermilk than this, but I couldn't match the pink up. I've been busy trying to match up colours with this, and it's not been as easy. Excuse the mess, guys. There we go. And yeah, so I've just been busy doing a border. So what I'm doing for the border is half trebles, which are half doubles in the US. I'm doing the corners slightly different. You know, previously, if you watched my videos, you'll know that I've been experimenting with different corners. I did 2 in one stitch and then 2 in the next to go round, and that worked nicely. But you know, when you're making a blanket and you're used to putting three trebles, which are double crochets in the US, and then you put a chain and then you put another 3, some people put even more chains, but then all of a sudden you drop that down to just 3 stitches, and to me it kind of pulls it into a, I don't know, distortion. So I'm kind of experimenting with other cornering. Just, I don't know what's took me so long, but you know, I'm doing that anyway. So it's hot in here. Should have put the aircon on before I came and decided to work on a blanket, you know. Never mind. So yeah, how have you guys been? Have you been doing anything good? Cool. We've had lots of sort of family stuff going on. I had my grandson Harley stay with me for a few days. His mum and dad went to a concert, and so he stayed with me for a few days. And then last night we went to his brothers, Gary's brothers, should I say. I'll say he. Went to Gary's brothers and we had dinner. And before Harley stayed, it was Sophia's birthday, so all of the grandkids were there, which was nice. We went bowling for that. So yeah, we've been very busy. And this week we have Gary's auntie's funeral. Say his auntie's funeral. She was 100 years old, and she's a lovely lady. At least she made it to 100, which is no mean feat. So she might have been 101 actually. Oh my god, I'm going to have to pause this, go put on that aircon, because I am now just melting. I'll be back, guys. Hi guys, sorry about that. Now I've put it on, and yeah, it's going to take a while to cool me down, so I'll take my slippers off. That might help. They're furry. Right. Oh, I don't know about you, but if I have hot feet, then that makes me even hotter. There we are, a bit more space. So at this precise moment, I'm making a tutorial, and keeping my eye on it. The first part that I've recorded is saving. So if I have to pause, you'll know I'm sort of catching up with the next phase, and then I'll come straight back. Filming 2 videos at the same time. Yeah, check me out. So I'm recording the tutorial, I'm recording a whip along, Crochet Buddy. Well, you know when you have to say, I'll pause it and I'll go all the way around. Well, that's boring. So I figured I would sit and do a little whip along video, which is cool, huh? Anyway, I'm at the corner. So what am I doing? I'm doing 2, 1 chain and 2. These are half trebles, by the way. And it's making a nice corner. It's cool. Okay, so bear with me a sec. I've got hair everywhere. It went in my ear. All places. All places. Okie dokie. Let's get cracking then. Just got to keep my eye on that, because I don't want the... Actually, I think I've got my charger in. No, charged it up, I think. Oh, it's so much nicer with it. With the aircon blowing and my slippers off. Just so hot. It hasn't been the sunniest of days, but I made a curry, which obviously does warm me up a bit. It's, you know, anything kind of like that does heat you up a little bit. And then the sun decided to come out and get all warm, which is a bit typical, isn't it? We've got very fickle weather at the moment. It's a bit changeable. We haven't had any rain, so that's the main thing. Just a little bit overcast, and then the sun decides to pop out at the end of the day. I think the weather's gone upside down just a bit. So yeah, we've got hang on, that went wrong. Oh, wonder what that was. We have the funeral, as I said, on Thursday, and then on Friday we're going on a little boat trip. I will take my recording equipment, but there's a lot of us going, so it might be a little awkward to try and film it. Originally there was just us going, so it was going to be, you know, okay to film, but going in a bit of a crowd, so I might not get much in the way of filming done, if anything, but I can take it along just in case. So that's what I'll do. But it's a bit of a lost opportunity if I don't get to do it. It's weird really, because where we're going is Southend and it is just over there across the water. But if we were to drive, it's miles and miles. Just got to go more or less all the way to London, to Dartford, to get to it. But we're going on a boat, so I'm just going to go across the water. I don't know how long it takes. But there's only 2 sailings per day, so there and back, that's it. I'm going to crochet my hair in this in a minute. So I'll be glad when this is finished, although when I first started this, at the time, I didn't intend it to actually be anything. It was just a swatch. And then I thought, you know what, I'm going to carry on. So now I'm doing a beginner's granny square blanket video with it. Figured I might as well. There's a hair there. I don't know if it's a hair that belongs to the yarn or not. I think it was. The Fairyland is a tad hairy. It's not bad though, but there are fibres, so if I start itching, like my nose starts itching or whatever, you'll know why. It's just fluffy a little bit. So I've been doing some stitch tutorials as well that I've been filming. I've got a few whips that need finishing off. And Gary is home tomorrow, but hopefully doing some DIY, which means I should, in theory, now that one is mine, I should be able to get some work done. Well, fingers crossed anyway that I do, because I need to get a little bit ahead with all these days out that we've got. Well, one day out and one funeral, but it will still be a day out because it's so far away. Was that not so far away, but it's not round the corner or anything. We have to go to Essex. It's more or less, she lived in Chigwell, they were all from kind of London and the lower part of Essex, but it's in a place called Hainault, so we've got to go all the way there for the funeral. It's a shame really, because there comes a time in the family where mostly you get together when it's either a wedding or a funeral, and that's about it really. Oh, it's a dodgy knot in this. I have to undo a bit. It's weird really, isn't it? Because, you know, when you get sort of a yarn that's not well known, like this Fairyland wasn't very well known. I think Hirschner's bought it, called it something else, Soho I believe. But it's, you know, not a well-known yarn. You expect a certain amount of knots and things like that in your yarn. When you get King Cole, you expect them to do it properly, don't you? Don't expect a knot in a place where it's just a frayed, fluffy, rubbishy knot. Doesn't seem at all right for much better yarn, if you know what I mean. I say better yarn, that's snobby, isn't it? It's like, but you know what I mean. Branded, well-known yarn. Okay, so at least my last part of that will be in the corner. Get rid of that then. Drop that now. Snip that last bit off. Not now, at the end. And we turned another corner. Sounds like a song. Or a different corner rather than another corner. It's really making a nice corner. I'm gonna get it from that way from now on. Absolutely. It's weird having my hair out. I've not actually had my hair out for so long. I used to do it all the time, and straighten it. I've been putting it in a plait so that I don't have to keep heat styling it all the time. And it just feels weird now having hair around me. I thought that once before when I used to put my hair up all the time, and then suddenly you have your hair out and straighten it or something, and it's like, whoa, this hair's annoying, you know, not used to it anymore. So we're nearly round, and I'll have to pause it, do a little bit of my tutorial and come back. And that means I won't have to go back to the tutorial for a little while, because it'll be just repeating rounds. I thought I'd do an absolute beginners one, you know, because I haven't done an absolute beginners tutorial for a long time. And I like to do the absolute beginners with my techniques, because just because somebody is a beginner doesn't mean they can't master those techniques that are kind of you've perfected. Do you know what I mean? We're nearly there. Nearly there. So I always like to sort of show and teach as you mean to go on, rather than learn one way first and then say, oh, by the way, you know, now you've got that, let's do this. You know, if it was me, I'd be like, I'd much rather know that way in the beginning than, you know, to relearn something, or think all those projects I did before with the other technique, and I could have been using the better technique. So yeah, I just think learn the right way first, and as you improve, you just get better at it. This is a lovely colour yellow. It's not matching the colour yellow in this, but yeah, you know, none of them were easy to match. They're all warm colours. Like the orange goes into a pink, so it's a warm pink, and the yellow is a warm yellow. But there, that one, it does seem to match it a bit. And they're not close together, you know, they're side by side, so it should be fine. I have no idea who's getting this blanket. Really, I don't know anyone with a baby girl. So it'll just go in the stash. The blanket stash, waiting. But then again, I might not want to give it away. It's so nice. This yarn is beautiful. Pretty. Not long to go. So tell me, what is on your hook at the moment? Are you making presents or just things to sell at craft fairs? Things for charity? Boggy Creek blankets? This would be a good Boggy Creek blanket, you know. It's just a nice, simple square, really. I do have one that is rectangular, so doesn't have to be square. But I have one that's circular, but I don't think you can do that for Boggy. But anyway, nearly at my corner. Wow. I've been crocheting lots today. I've been doing some stitch tutorials, as I said, and then I walked into my room and I looked in the bag and I thought, oh, you were going to finish those whips today. And it's like, you know, yeah, one of them is too far away from being finished. Only because I changed it and added a dimension to it that wasn't there before. So now I have to make all that. Never mind. That's the trouble. Okay, so I'm going to pause this for a sec and come back to you once I've paused the other one. Hello, I am back. So off we go yet again, all the way around. And guess what? I'm cold. That aircon is now making me cold. So I'll be good in a sec when I've done a little bit more of this blanket. It will cover me a little bit. Can't believe it, really. I was so hot. I was melting, and now it's pretty fierce and cold. But, you know, if I had a choice, I'd rather choose to be cold than hot. I don't know about you, but my default setting is fan on or air conditioning on. Yeah, I'm too hot-blooded. Right, just bear with me. I just need to turn that off, otherwise it might drain. Yeah, I'm just far too hot-blooded. I always have been. When I was a child and it was snowy or cold in the winter, I would still be playing outside in a t-shirt. And I wouldn't come in to get a coat. I just wouldn't. I was too hot, running around like a lunatic, getting hotter and hotter. I just didn't like being bundled up and being hot. I'm still the same, especially if I'm driving or something. I cannot drive with a coat on. I just can't do it. If it's really, really cold, I might wear something like a cardigan or a, you know, kind of a very thin sweatshirt, but I just don't like to be hot, not in a car. Okay, so this is just ever so simple, and round and round and round. In actual fact, I prefer doing a UK double crochet, which is singles in the border, but they just take so long to go round that you know, and you have to do an extra row round. Even I was doing a tutorial earlier and it was rows and I kept saying rounds, and now I'm doing rounds, I'm saying row. I don't know why I do that. I always get it the wrong way round. I know what I want to say, it's just the wrong word comes out. There we are, nice and warm now. Little lap blanket. Oh, yeah, so I have a few whips on the go, and one which was going to be one of my granny squares ages ago. I haven't even done any more of it, and I do need to. It's a project I did want to get underway. There's so much that I want to do, so many projects that I want to make. Just don't have time. Not enough hours in the day. Not enough crocheting hours anyway. Right, nearly at this corner. Well, I'd say nearly. It's sort of halfway. Nowhere near really, is it? Just being silly. So if you haven't seen my chat lately, my latest feature is my partner Gary is writing jokes down, and it's because I mislaid my dad joke book and I couldn't find it. It is here somewhere, but I couldn't find it, and so Gary had told me a joke. So I thought, oh, hang on, what's that joke, Gary? What was it? And so I told everybody Gary's joke, and that was it. Then we decided that feature was going to be a thing. Gary's joke of the day. The odd one is one that I have told many moons ago when I used to look them up, but we won't labour that fact. Some of them are very good. Some of them are too rude. I can't. Not the ones he's written down, but he did tell me a few that I couldn't possibly say on air. Oh, I'm getting... it's because of this countertop's quite high. I get arm ache. Oh, no. Long way to go. Ah, you know what it is? My seat has probably gone down. Let's see. Where's the thing? Hey, up we go. There we go. That's going to help. Now I don't have to put my arm up. My arm's down. That is so much better. It's weird how your chair just goes... Your hydraulic, whatever it is, just starts to go down. You don't notice it until virtually sitting on the floor with an arm ache. Ah, hang on. Where's the lever? I should have brought a drink in at least. I should have brought a tea or at least a bottle of water. I did have one in here somewhere, but I think it's gone. Am I at the corner? Where is my middle? Right there. That was a very quick bath for Gary. Normally he spends hours in there, but not today. I've got to say though, my curry was very nice. It was I just cobble them together really when I'm doing low carb, because I don't I make them low carb, and they're usually quite nice, but today's one was even better than the others. I don't write a recipe down, just throw it in, really. So what's your favourite thing to cook? I guess mine's a roast, if I were to have a roast, but I'm still dieting. I'm hoping that I don't have to come off it on the boat trip, that I managed to find somewhere where I can fit it in, because the other day when we went to the bowling for Sophia's birthday, I had no choice, because we ended up in Frankie and Benny's, and they've changed their recipe. They changed their menu, and it's a very carby menu now. There's gone are all the mixed grills and everything else, and the things they've replaced it with are all sauce orientated, like, you know, racks of ribs that have got barbecue sauce on or something. So, you know, they used to be able to go in there and have quite a nice low carb meal, but not anymore. Hold on. There we are. Should have tied my hair up, I think. Might end up crocheting it in. But then, you know, near enough every project we ever have has some of our hair crocheted into it, doesn't it? Mostly. I'm wondering if you... Yeah, now I've got higher, you can see even more, I think. I have no idea how long this video is or will be, because I had to do it in sections. So when I pause it, the other section just disappears. Just does. So anyway, oops, only went through, nope, did go through 2 loops, just didn't look right. I have to say that I still really love this yarn. It's just so pretty. It's very, very nice. I wish it it's a bit heavy though when it falls down. But it's such a nice yarn to work with. And when I first started making this, I encountered a knot, and I thought, oh, but it's going to be full of knots. And it wasn't. I only had that one out of all of the 4 balls that I used. Cakes rather than balls. But as soon as I started using this, this is King Cole Cherished, and as soon as I started using that, I had a knot. So, you know, it doesn't matter whether it's some obscure brand out of China or whether it's King Cole's yarn. You still get them. It wasn't even a nice knot either. It was a right tufty, horrible little knot. So it doesn't really make any kind of difference what yarn it is. If you get it, you get it. Just sometimes, you know, when you've got like a chenille and you're just unlucky enough to get the one that has about 6 knots in that 100-gram skein, it's just like, oh, that's really... And then you have a tendency to think that yarn's just rubbish, you know, but it's just that one ball, and all the others fine. So if you're watching anything decent at the moment, I went back and started to watch Line of Duty, and the good thing is I'd forgotten so much about it that I can watch it again and only remember little bits here and there. So but I've actually got quite a long way in now, so I won't be able to watch it for long. And Gary and myself, we're going to watch the new Alien. And we would have started it the other day, but we had Harley with us, and I didn't know if it was scary. You know, it's based on the Alien movies, so it wouldn't be nice. But apparently my son Paul, that's Harley's dad, he watched it. He said it's odd but really good. And they release kind of 2 episodes at a time. So Gary said, well, we'll kind of let it build up a little bit and then we'll start watching it, because we don't have a program to watch at the moment. We're watching a comedy just that's on Gold, just a rerun of Red Dwarf, because we don't have anything to watch. And at least we could watch Red Dwarf while Harley was there. And nothing scary about that. So it gave us something to do on the odd half hour here or whatever. Well, hey, no, not yet quite. I've got a whole 2 sides to do still. Oh, there's my water. I did bring some water in. Thought I had some, but I'm not getting it. I just know my luck, I will knock it over. So it's there if I need it. Yeah, so we've kind of watched all of the really good shows, you know, like Yellowstone and Landman and all of the prequels to Yellowstone, and just most things we've seen. But occasionally something you kind of come across. So unfortunately, when I say to Gary, oh, should we watch this? He says, no, it's got police in it, or just cops. No, I don't want to watch it. So it's not all it's about. No. He just knows a lot. It's no. But I watch them without him if it's something I want to see. I just think, well, if he's not going to watch it, I'll watch it in the evening. So I haven't done my live stream yet. I've had a bit of a busy time, as you know, as I mentioned, so not been able to fit one in. But we shall see. Maybe I'll do an evening one. Probably clash with whoever, but you know, just the way it is. It's the way it is. Used to clash with people before, but even more people doing it now. Oh, it takes so long to get around a blanket. But at least I'm not just sitting there doing it. I've got you guys to kind of talk to. Well, actually, I'll say talking at you, because there's no reply coming until later. But at least I can sit and chat in the corner without people thinking that woman's nuts. That only went through one loop. This hook's catching on part of the stitch, and I don't know why. It's the direction I'm sitting in, I guess. Pulling it down so it catches. Maybe. That's a little better. So yeah, it probably is. Because the weight of the blanket pulls it down and I catch the bottom of the stitch. And that's nice now. I don't want to try, I don't know about you, but lately, if I'm in a hurry and I start crocheting really fast, I get a bit agitated. And so I've really tried to slow down how fast I'm crocheting, because there's been times in the evening when I get something finished and I get up ahead of steam, I can't sleep because I've kind of jazzed myself up too much. Whoever thought that crocheting would be far too exciting to make sleep? But yeah, so I've been trying, and it's catching again now, trying to slow myself down a little bit so that, you know, I'm not so agitated for all things. It's supposed to be relaxing, not agitating. So that's really starting to annoy me, catching there. Only got one more side. Well, no, I haven't. I've got another 5 sides because I'm going to go around again. Hang on. How long have I been yakking? 15 minutes. I don't know how long the other one was. Not a clue. But oops. So are you making anything for Halloween? If so, what are you making? Have you started on any Christmas things yet? If so, what have you been making? So the only thing I've started is a scarf, but it was basically one of my old tutorials. I watched it and thought, oh, yeah, right, that needs modernising. So, oh, why are you sticking? Is it because I'm sitting in here? You're just trying to wind me up. Maybe, baby. Okay, it's chin. Very pretty. Sorry. Whacked the genie. They're a godsend, those things. They really are, especially for me. Making tutorials used to be, it was a challenge because the yarn would just get in the way all the time and move about and get in the way some more. And I used to use a cat ornament. It was a trinket box. It was Gary's originally, but one of them had a little curly tail. I used to loop the yarn on that tail and it kept it from falling back at me. And I used to use that quite a lot. And it wasn't until I got a genie and I thought, oh my God, if only you'd got one of these sooner. But, you know, the cat's retired now. It's up there, just being a cat. Well, probably, in retirement years, you know, cat years is more than ours. But, yeah, it's a good thing. But, yeah, for the many years I used a cat and a little bucket, washing bin or something on the floor to stop the yarn ball from rolling around. You don't imagine, you know, what's behind the scenes of that tutorial. Another hair. What's behind the scenes? It's weird, isn't it, when you think about it? What other people have going on. And you don't see that. You just see the tutorial or the video without the things that are in the background. It's odd, really, when you think about it. Whoops. All nearly at the end. Oh, no, I've got hair in my mouth. Never mind. Should have brought a scrunchie in. Oh, come on. That's better. Just gets stuck otherwise. Just every single stitch, the hook catches on the bottom part when it pulls down, and it is so infuriating. But it's all right when you don't have it like that. You know, it's at the beginning of the row, you can't tuck it under your arm like this. That's the aggravating thing. Wow, I'm getting all crocheted out, and it's only because I've been doing it kind of all day. So I think I need to have a little break. When I get to the end of this row, see how I feel. I might call that it and then finish it off tomorrow, but I've got so much to do. I'd like to get it done, really. But, see, normally speaking, if I do a tutorial, I'll just show the border on a swatch. So much easier than going all the way around. But I figured I needed to make a whip along, so we'll do this for a change and kill two birds with one stone. Poor birdies. But you know what I mean. I had a piece of good news today. I've been searching high and low for a set of keys, a watch, and there's something else now that's been added to the lost pile. I can't remember off the top of my head right now. But I had this idea that my keys had fallen behind a cupboard and I left them there. So I decided to have a look through around some of them. Although I didn't find the keys, when I looked behind one of the cupboards in there, I found my watch. So, and that was I'm so glad I found it, because Michael bought me that watch, and he often mentions it because it was quite a snazzy one, and it needs to go in and have a battery, but I found it. I was so relieved because I started to worry that I'd left it on the ship when we were on holiday. And I know that I'm the one who does the packing. And I looked around everywhere and there was nothing left in any drawers, on the drawers, under the bed, fallen on the floor, anywhere. So I kind of thought if I left that I can't imagine where, but I didn't. It just kind of fell behind the cupboard. So now I've still got to find the keys and whatever else has been added to the lost pile that I can't remember at this precise moment in time, but something. But one down, 2 to go, I think that is. But the most important one is those keys. I need to find them. Stupid. In a safe place, that so safe, that's safe from me. I guess we all do it though, don't we? No, that hole was too big. I don't know how that happened. Usually it doesn't. Could do that again. Won't get big now. There we are. Last round of yellow. Thank goodness. I'm going to have to spend some time with Gary though this evening because, well, I normally do spend some time in here. He usually watches some awful TV while I do my videos, but just recently I've been doing them early. Ah, what is that? Got my hair. So I knew it wasn't a spider because, you know, it would have had to have been gigantic with boxing gloves on to have got me. But all of the family, Michael and Victoria, both have had huge spiders in their house. Both of them. And I keep thinking, I've got, you know, it's an omen, isn't it? They're obviously coming in. It's all, I reckon, because people are opening windows, personally. But, I mean, we have our back door open sometimes, or front door, so they'll definitely be coming in. But I bought some more of my spray. And the other day, I thought, hang on, we've had a lot of open doors and then forgetting to close it, and then when you go out there of an evening it's all dark and cool, and that's when they kind of come in to keep warm. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to give it a good spray up. So that's what I've been doing. Oh, hopefully that means I won't get any. I can't see it though. I never kind of not get any, but the last couple of years I've only had like 1 or 2, and they've been small. But both Victoria and Michael had huge ones. So hopefully I won't be getting that. Don't want any of that malarkey. No siree. No, it's going funny again. Oh, it's just the angle. An infuriating angle. Okay. It's dropping down again. It's just, there we are, it's better. It's just that bit at the bottom of the, you know, you go in the top 2 loops and there's a little bit underneath. Little split there. So, have you got any funny stories that you need to tell me? I think we need to swap some funny stories. I've kind of exhausted most of mine, like the time my dad's feet caught fire and stuff. Yeah, my dad was always funny. Always had a lot of humour with my dad. My mum had no humour whatsoever. But she wasn't miserable. She just didn't like anything funny. You know, comedians she would sit and watch without so much as a smile and just go, it's not funny. I think she liked Normal Wisdom though. She would giggle at Normal Wisdom. Wow, this is heavy going. What is the time? That's more. I'm going to get to the end of this side and I'll stop and pick it up. Well, I might have to do a bit more just to, you know, sit in there and do it with Gary. But I might have to do the rest a bit later on, because otherwise I shan't see him before he goes to bed. Bless him. He's had a lot of people at work on holiday, so he's been quite busy. Gets tired because of that. He does a lot of walking. It's very physical. He works for the ambulance, and it's quite tiring. Especially restocking them all. That's quite a tiring job. Wow. It gets a bit boring doing the same stitch all the time. I don't quite know. After this round, I'm bringing the colour back in. I don't know whether to do another one. Maybe. But I'm bringing the colour back in and I'm going to do something. But what? Not quite sure. Figure it out. Oh, maybe. I'll start thinking about that soon. See what to do. I mean, I was toying with the idea of just doing like reverse crab stitch or something like that around it. But I've had another idea. And I might have a little play with it. See what looks nice. Nearly there, guys. Nearly there. I'm getting an arm ache. All this crocheting I've done today. I feel like I've been arm wrestling Mike Tyson. Boulder in my arm. Am I there? Yes. Okay, so the next stitch is the corner. So I'm going to get off. And thank you for joining me and spending your time crocheting with this little buddy. And I'll see you guys on the next crochet along. Bye for now.